You have some videos you
Yes,
wanted
I
to show.
do. Yes, I want to show you a couple of videos. So we have one girl.
Well, you're not sharing anything right now, so.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me start with the girl because she got a lot of comments here. Okay, 1 second. Mhm. Okay, you can see it, right?
Yep.
Let me just restart the page and unmute it.
If I wanted to date you, would I have to have a car?
Absolutely not. I've dated a guy with no car. I drove him around.
What was that like?
It was fine because I loved him.
And how long was that relationship?
About a year and a half on and off.
So you didn't feel like you were being the man in the relationship, having to pick him up and drop him off?
A little bit, but I know that it was at a good cost because I loved him.
So love is what kept you pushing through.
Love is companionship. Love is trusting. Love is something that keeps you going and makes you work for something even though you don't want to because you really care about that person.
Did you end up filling up your gas tank the most, or did he fill it up for you?
He paid me sometimes, but
Sometimes.
when he couldn't, I did because I loved him. Money doesn't matter to me. I grew up poor, so money's nothing to me. A good person
Something mattered to her.
matter. The money they
I know,
make,
right?
the house they live in, the car they drive. A good person is a good
I
person.
think he compensated in other
I'm
ways.
21.
If I
I think
wanted
he
to
met
date
her
you, would I have to have a car?
expectations in other ways.
1 second. Okay, here you go. I was on the wrong screen, guys. Sorry. Yeah, what do you think about this? Nick was saying something.
I think um, so she's young, so she doesn't have the whole, she's living the here and now. She's not thinking about money so much. She wants to party, and I think this guy met her expectations, and he was probably somewhat charming, even though he didn't have a car. Probably didn't have a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of. Probably didn't make much money at all, but I bet he got her long, hard, and well.
There's always something else, isn't there? There's always
Yeah,
something.
that would be my understanding of the situation.
And they aren't clearly still not together. They're not together anymore. So there was something there. Now, it doesn't have to be money in specific that she was unhappy with. There's lots of different reasons why. In fact, there's an infinite array of reasons why women will leave a man. So
Yeah,
it
well,
doesn't.
I asked here in the comments, why did she break up with this good person that she loved?
With this generation, that's not even really the right question anymore.
Question to ask. Okay, what
this-
would be the right question?
Well, see, this generation, when you don't have expectations placed on a generation, they're just going to look at it and they're going to go, "Oh, well, we just grew apart." Have you ever heard that one before? Because there's an infinite array of reasons to break up, I'm sure one of them was used.
Stars aligned only for a time.
Yeah. So, and this actually gets back to, but this gets back to the concept of expectations. There is no expectation for. Okay, I gotta pull this one up. Irreconcilable expectations.
Irreconcilable.
Yeah, that's actually Tacticus where we're going today. In this particular case, she very likely just, somebody in the relationship just said, "Oh, well, I wanted to go, a different direction."
Uh-huh.
In her case, probably found some new dick. I mean, this is Nightlife Miami here, if I recall correctly, on this channel.
That's the whole sisterhood behind it. You know, if she's around a lot of women, oh, he's cute, but after a while, like you're still driving him around. He doesn't have a car. She's getting older. Mm,
So the sisterhood has expectations too, Nick, huh? Is that what you're saying?
exactly. Who do you think's whispering in her ear?
Oh.
Huh.
Well,
I
they
mean, I
have
can't say that for sure in
they
this,
have
but that's a general thing that you find.
they have
Well-
delusional expectations.
Well,
that they are
okay,
doing.
okay. If they don't have to be whispering in her ear specifically, but do you know what's constantly whispering in our ears? Instagram, TikTok. Well, maybe after Sunday, TikTok won't be whispering in our ears anymore. But Facebook. Although
They'll
she's
find
probably,
another way.
oh
They'll find another way.
they already have, but that's for a different story. So you've got YouTube, Twitter, even.
Mhm.
I will call it Twitter till the day I die, guys. It's just I was born and raised that way. So expectations come from. Okay, Steve talked about how women manifest the future.
Mhm.
Okay, well, where do all these expectations come from? She's not pulling these out of her ass. All the we in the red pill we talk about the 437 bullet point checklist of things that the guy has to have. Where does that checklist come from?
Other women.
Yeah. And currently the primary transmission mechanism for that checklist is social media. She won't be accountable, so blames him. Therefore, she is justified in finding a better man.
Mhm.
Right. Doesn't fit the checklist. So it's his, and remember, guys, it's his fault that he doesn't meet the checklist. It's not her fault that the checklist is insane. No, the checklist is what the hive mind of women have agreed constitutes a worthy man. Do you want to read that, Nick?
Alice Tacticus got this he kind of got where I was going. So women, the sisterhood is not always about long term, but they tend to have that long term thinking, but they actually end up destroying long term relationships. Anyways, he says, so Nick, you're saying she has short term expectations in the moment, but the sisterhood is the long term hypergamy expectation forecasting mechanism. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it works. I think it's terrible, but yeah.
Well, and the results speak for themselves.
Right.
If the sisterhood was successfully finding all these worthy men with their long checklists, then we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have to wade through endless Instagram and TikTok posts about how they can't find the man that they're entitled to.
Well, there might be a few women who are lucky, who just have genetics, who have been picked up by this worthy man that all women want. But there are so few of them. And then what do they say? They say, oh, ladies, you are all worthy. You all deserve what I have. You are perfect the way you are, in any body, shape, or form, no matter what you do.
I mean,
even the few
you can
women
say
who are like, even the few women who got the man that women want, right? What do they do? What kind of message are they sending? Is it like, okay, ladies, it's like, if you want to get this kind of man, you need to work. It's not free.
The guy what happens when the guy starts having expectations too?
Mhm.
Uh-oh, he's not worthy anymore. He's a
You're right.
Well, one of the 437 bullet point check on the checklist of the bullet points is thou shalt not have any expectations of me.
Well, so he must be a slave, okay? He must be a slave, except for we know how women treat slaves. How do women treat simps? they leave them. Or these effeminate men who don't have any expectations on women. Women abuse their power. They use sex as a mechanism against men, and then the law system and everything against men, and they crush this man.
Yes, but the what's going on there is it's fascinating. So we've talked about this concept of, you know, respect, and
Yeah.
men can only love, or women can only love men they respect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a slave is, that means then, so if the man that you respect is a strong, powerful, you know, alpha leader, you know, dominant masculine presence, use that term,
Mm-hmm.
then what is a slave? Well, the slave is the exact opposite of that man. They are powerless.
That's what the church is making.
Yes, they are powerless.
Oh, we want strong family homes, but we're creating simps and emasculating men when they start exemplifying masculine traits.
Well, I'll just say it. The church is trying to make slaves for women.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that 437 bullet point checklist, you can look at it one of two ways. You can say, okay, these are women's expectations, or you can go the red pill route and say that list, it's a shit test. And Nick, to your point, the church has collectively failed the shit test.
Oh yeah. Yes, honey, whatever you say. Yes, dear. Yeah, men need to do this. Yes, dear.
So,
The pastor dared make an application to these saintly angelic women. Let's kick him out.
yeah. So the church got rid of all of the strong, rational, masculine men who could pass on their knowledge to the younger men, and then who goes to church? It's mostly, well, there are a few older guys there, right? But they are desperately trying to get the younger guys joining the church so that they can wife up these 3 or 4s, right? Reformed women, transformed virgins, sexual
Single mommies.
yes,
Single mommies,
second
yeah.
virginity, yeah. Gives them.
They can, but in the modern church, they can be a single mommy and still be a secondary virgin.
Yeah, right. How does this work? How does this even
Well, when you can manifest the future,
I know, right?
anything can happen. You know, Steve, I know you're on vacation, but that was a great little setup you gave for us there. When you can manifest the future, anything can happen.
No, because it's home math, right? Like, hey, so 1% of the men fit my criteria. So you're telling me I have a shot.
Exactly. and when all the other men don't fit that criteria, and the 1% of men that you do want reject you, what? So we're talking about expectations in relationships. What happens when you?
I have to sorry. Don't.
Okay, I saw that. Oh man.
Oh gosh, it's good.
Okay.
Fire.
Comment of the stream right there. Okay.
I know, right?
Comment of the stream.
Oh my God.
That's okay. That's how we're gonna say it from now on. It's not they're manifesting their virginity.
I'm writing it down.
There, I've even starred that one for us because we'll probably come back to that one.
Yep.
So when you have all these expectations and they don't get met because they were delusional, and you've been told your whole life that men are the problem, what are you as a woman going to think, say, and do?
Blame man.
Yeah.
This is what Steve, mentioned. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Steve left us his comments. You know, You're gonna blame.
ahead of time. He knows
Yeah.
what's going.
He knows where we're going.
Been around. He's been around the space a long time.
Yeah.
Old man wisdom still giving us wisdom from afar.
I don't
Yeah.
think he can help himself. So they start to blame, and then they start to invade spaces like the church, and they start to use these institutions to try to get men to fit their 437 bullet point checklist.
Well, I remember Rollo made a post. It was a public post a while ago. He said that women invaded the red pill, or he phrased it, women invaded the manosphere. And if you look at the type of content we see, I 100% agree. They invaded and they try to flip it, they try to sanitize it, they try to change it, and it's not
I think the most
not the same red
some
pill
do.
anymore.
Some do. I think the most successful ones are the pick-me's.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, that said, and I'll say this, we've talked about it before, obliquely, but particularly in the run-up to the election, there was a mass invasion of women into the manosphere.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, it became okay for women to speak in this space, but all of their speaking was done from this. It's done in the same way that it was done in the church, and it was so the formula is, well, I agree with what you're saying, but it's tone policing, but I don't like how you're saying it. And so you could get more women if you just toned it down a little bit or made your channel a little more, a little more acceptable and or inviting, to women. You just invite some women on, listen to their opinions. Oh God, particularly summer of last year, I was listening to all of this going on, and I just wanted to vomit.
Mhm.
Because it's the same thing that was done to the church decades ago and is still ongoing. Anywhere men go to find the counsel of other men, women invade.
Yes.
Yes. No male spaces.
And I say that with my wife being in this space on the screen right now. However,
I 100% agree with you, because even when I started watching red pill content back like 5 or 6 years ago now, it was totally different red pill than now. And look, I'm a relatively new here by no stretch of imagination. I claim myself an expert in this field. I'm still learning from you guys, and I'm talking to smart guys, but it definitely shifted. It definitely changed. And the message, even like how even red pill guys presented, it changed too.
Okay. The point that I'm trying to make here is that yes, you're here, but you're always here with other guys, and the guys are constantly checking you. No, that's not, no, that's not right. Here's what this actually is, right? Most women who come into a space with the mission of trying to change it, and you saw a lot of this last year, particularly, they come in and they try and tone police. Well, what the women are trying to do is they're trying to redirect this space to meet female expectations of relationships.
Yeah.
They want.
No.
Yeah, I think we know where Nick is on this.
Yeah.